I have no time constraints. No one is missing. No expectations are, I guess, make progress.
Good afternoon, I'm Amy, and I'm fine. Thanks, no time constraints, and no elephants, and make progress for our expectation.
I'm doing well. No time constraints, no elephants, and expectations. Make progress.
Good afternoon, Fernando Vasquez, professional standards, no time constraints, I'm doing well, no elephants, and make progress.
Good afternoon, I'm Ron Irusi. I'm the Director of Labor Relations for the district. I don't have any time constraints. I'm doing great. No one's missing, no elephants, and the expectations are the same as everybody else. Hope we make progress tonight.
Good afternoon, I'm Jared McKinney. No time constraints, no one's missing, no elephants, and make progress.
Good evening, Jason Kurtz. I am doing amazing, no time constraints, no one's missing. I don't have any elephants that I'm aware of, and I guess I'm feeling the peer pressure to make progress.
Since when do you come to peer pressure? Come on, Jason.
I'm Cheryl Neely, and I am doing well, and I don't have any time constraints. There are no missing that I'm aware of, don't have any elephants, and I too am making progress.
Good evening, my name is Candy Messenger. I'm doing well. I have no time constraints. No one's missing, no elephants, and make progress.
Good evening, I'm Alex Dworzanski. I'm the principal of Harns Marsh Middle School, doing great. Expectations also are to make progress. I also don't have any elephants.
Hello, I'm Teresa Bowen. I'm the ESE Director. I am doing well. I have no elephants, and my expectations are that we make progress.
Good evening, my name is Barbara Cedino. I'm the Director for Maintenance Services. Doing well, no time constraints, missing as noted, no elephants, and the same as everyone to make progress.
Hello, Course McIntosh, Assistant School Board Attorney. I'm doing fine. I have a time constraint of 6:30. No one's missing. No elephants. Expectations to make progress.
Thank you.
Got the list. My name is Jonathan Tuttle with FEA. I'm doing well. I can't read that list from here. I don't think I've heard it like 20 times, sorry. Nobody's missing.
Elephants?
No. Oh, Deborah Evans is missing. No elephants, and expectations is hopefully come to an agreement.
Okay.
Good afternoon, my name is Lois Dubay. I am fine. Someone will hear me cough a little bit, it's been a few weeks. No time constraints, missing's been noted, no elephants, and I want to come to an agreement too.
Hi, my name is Arlise Williams. I am doing well. No time constraints, missing has been noted, no elephants, and expectations is to come to an agreement.
Good afternoon, my name is Patrice Coates. I am fine, no time constraints, misses noted, no elephants, and I guess I'll go with my team. Come to an agreement.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Chris Cox. I'm doing well. I have no time constraints. This has been noted. No elephants. And I'm going to go with hopefully come to an agreement.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Rosen. Time constraints none, missing noted, no elephants, expectations, come to an agreement.
Good afternoon, I'm Victoria Davis. I'm well, no time constraints, missing has been noted, no elephants, and to come to agreement.
Okay, thank you everyone.
I'm Wendy French, I'm doing well. I do not have any time constraints. John and I are here. I don't have any elephants. Expectations are helping.
are to meet your expectations.
And good afternoon, I'm Donna Mussenard, I'm doing well, no time constraints, no elephants, and my expectations is to help you get through this evening with your expectations. And I do believe we have minutes from 3 different meetings, right? The 15th, 16th, and 17th of July?
That's correct.
Okay. I hope everybody has had a chance to read those. Let's go day by day. So July 15th. Any corrections or deletions? I don't see any hands, so can we accept the 15th as written, please? Thank you. 16, any corrections or deletions? All right, all those, I don't see any hands for any corrections or deletions for the 16th. So all those in favor of approving the minutes as written for the 16th of July? May I see some? Thank you. And last but not least, July 17th. Any corrections or deletions? Again, I don't see any hands, so can we accept the 17th as written? All right, excellent. All right, I do believe we have a presentation this evening on compensation. Jonathan, you have something for us this evening?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. I'm here to talk about SPALC's bargaining proposal, but first I'd like to thank the district for the work that they did with Evergreen and on the salary study. What you created with Evergreen is a great first step. So we used your product, your work product, and tweaked it to accommodate the needs of our members. A survey this past spring showed very clearly our members want 2 things. They want a salary schedule, and they want to start decompressing those steps that had to get jammed together because of the increase to the minimum wage. So it's with these 2 things in mind that we're going to go through this proposal. And I think we're going to start first, we're going to separate it. First, we're going to look at the salary schedule, actual schedule that we currently have. So that's up on the screen right now. I don't know if you can read all the numbers, but you certainly see the, sorry. But you certainly see the structure. And it goes from step 1, I had to shrink it a little bit, through 15, and then the maximum step of 99. If you see just this pink shading here, these are the remnants of compression. You see somebody coming in at step 1, pay grade 3 at $16.20, and if a step is a year, and a lot of times steps are included each year in negotiations, it would take this person 8 years to see a difference in their salary if it's not otherwise negotiated. So this is the problem with compression. But this is the salary schedule structure that we're used to. So this is what we began our work with. So let's take a little deeper look at our current schedule. All right. There is no way you're gonna see those numbers. Yeah. Try to make it a little bigger too. It's not. What the heck? So sorry.
Which one? Yeah, thank you. This one too? Okay.
Okay, so again, this top one is our current salary schedule. My shading just to show all of them. These are all numbers of 1620. This is a little analysis of the increase, the increment increase each year. That's why step one, obviously, there's nothing there because they're not increasing from anything. From step 1 to 2, 2 to 3, et cetera, it shows the amount of each increment. And so forth through up to 99. To look a little bit deeper, again, at our current schedule, I put some colors in here because I knew you'd have a hard time reading the numbers. All these purple numbers here are below 2.5%. Actually, I think they're at 2.35%. Now that's the increase from year to year, from step to step. So purple is either 0 through 2.35%. All the rest are around 2.5%. It maxes out at 2.94% here, and these are all your 2.60s. So you see they're kind of scattered throughout the schedule. These numbers down here show the range. So one year when you say we're going to give you a step increase, everybody on step 1, it means a different thing to them. To the 2, in this particular step, of a 2% difference. So you say to somebody you're getting a step increase, well, a bunch of these folks aren't seeing anything, and some are seeing 2.6%. And so on down the line, from 2 to 3. They're seeing anywhere from 0 to almost 3%. So there's a range. So it doesn't really mean the same thing to everybody. So it's a good structure. We like that. It's something that we're used to. I don't know how many years you've had it, but certainly quite a few. But that's our current schedule. Now, here's the pay structure that you proposed. I apologize for this poor quality. I tried to get it off the PDF that you distributed at the last bargaining meeting, I think. I think it was the last bargaining meeting. But through your work with Evergreen, you came up, instead of these, whoops, sorry. Instead of these pay grades, you changed them to job grades. And again, it didn't really show out. But jobs going from S01 to S15. You came up with new minimums, a midpoint, new maximums, and a range spread. Again, all these numbers say 50 cents, really. But it's the minimum and maximum and the job grades that we're going to look at. We're not paying attention to the midpoint or the range spread on this thing. But instead, we're going to accept the job grades that you guys came up with Evergreen, and your min and your max. So, the work that you did, again, this was distributed, I believe, at your last bargaining meeting? Okay, so Evergreen did their work with salary study. Management then just sat down and reviewed, this is what I imagine, I'm just guessing, but you reviewed their work, and for the most part, in this blue column here, you accepted most of their recommendations, like a clinic assistant would be in job S01. You looked at that and said, no, I think they belong in S03. Most of them you left alone, left the same, but a few of them you increased, and I think only just a couple you moved down. But whatever it is, you went through it and you made those changes. It's your proposals that we're going to use. Okay, so we're taking the job grades that you came up with, those 15, we're accepting these proposed grades where these jobs fit on that new job grade category, and we're accepting that min and max. So we used your min and max, and we came up with something. This is where it gets fun. So all these numbers are yours, or your recommendations. And what we did is we wanted to get the min, midpoint, max into something familiar to us by creating another salary schedule. So by doing that, we took the number of steps and simple division divided by 15 to come up with actual increments in between the min and max that you proposed. Now, you'll see a line here. This dark line between 10 and 11 is where our current salary schedule would end. Evergreen and management decided we need a few more, which is fine, it's great, we accept that, and there it is. You'll see these colors here, the green and the blue. Actually, let me just do this might be easier. The green and the blue, these green numbers here, on all four of these job grades, there are only 19 employees that fit from S09 to S12, and there are 0 employees on the blue. That's as it is today. And again, this is the first year for this, so that's understandable, not a problem at all. This is going to be a process. But you can see what we did. We inserted our steps as per our current salary structure, and we changed them from numbers to letters, because it gets very confusing when you look at step numbers. A lot of people think that's years of experience. And way back when, before Tallahassee got so involved in our business, I'm sure that's the way it was. It's not anymore, it just isn't. So to help lessen the confusion for folks, we changed them to letters. That's the only difference. So instead of, well, you can see what it does. All right. There's one number that's a little bit different. So through our calculations on this first SO1, each step is 52 cents apart. We ended up with a different number than you. It wasn't our intent to change your min or max, but this is what happened, changed by 5 cents. Your maximum is 5 cents less than our maximum. Other than that, they all match up perfectly. All right. So, I hope you understand how we got to this point. That's how we sort of created this new salary schedule. And I want to take a look at this sheet that was also passed out. I don't know if everyone's familiar with this, but this was also distributed at the last meeting. And these were some examples. I guess you gave a bunch of different options to the bargaining team to look at. Well, I kind of want to look at one of these as well. This is the district option with SPALC's recommendation. So to show us how this all worked in trying to address compression, you would take an employee from grade level 1 with a minimum wage of $15.50. And again, we accept all these numbers. Right now, for a first-year employee, their current rate is at $16.20. So what you did is said, okay, we're going to bring that up to the minimum, or we're going to give them 2% increase total, whichever is greater. In this case, $16.20 is obviously above $15.50, so they got the 2% increase. So they go from $16.20 to $16.52. As a first-year employee, there is no compression adjustment. So their new rate is that $16.52. We look at the next employee, same situation. Everybody, by the way, all 4 of these employees make $16.20, from 18 years down to 1 year. This is why we also want to focus on the compression aspect. So again, same method, $16.20. We're going to go to the 2% instead of the minimum because it's greater. Then we're going to add the 1% for the new rate, the compression adjustment for this 4-year employee. Brings it up to $16.69. I'm not going to go through every single one, don't worry. But again, you see the $16.20, the same system applies, only differences are the 4% and the 5.5% compression adjustments. So we're going from $16.52 for the first-year employee all the way up to $17.53 for the 18-year employee. So what we did is we changed those values, the decompression. The compression adjustment was called on your handout. So this is the same as the compression adjustment. So for us, we're proposing compression adjustment for a first year, 0-year employee. They just get the new step only. There's no adjustment. Then you see years 1 through 4, and I have colons here because they'll turn the dates on me when I put them into Excel. Anyway, so I left the colons. 1 to 4, 5 to 9, etc. And you see the percentages, 3 to 5 up to 9% for our 20-year veteran employees. So we took these percentages and we used the same approach as you guys did to sort of demonstrate what you were doing. So here's what we had just looked at. Again, the job of clinic assistant. This is grade 3. Oh, this is a different one. Hold on. I want to look at the same guys we just looked at. Here we go. Worker sites. This is grade level 1, minimum salary of $15.50. These are the numbers that we just looked at in a different format from the district. Yes, sir? I'm sorry?
Back up one, so I get you where you were before.
This was yes.
Yeah, we're trying to capture some of these.
I can give this to you if you guys are nice. You want that? All right. May not be, keep your options open. There you go. All right. So, again, these are the same numbers, just a different format. I thought it was easier to show the side-by-side comparison between what management presented a few weeks, whatever ago, and what we're presenting today. So we'll take the same employee at 1620. We're not applying the minimum step or the COLA. Either one of those get applied. Compression adjustment for this 0 or 1-year employee is 0. So again, management ends up at 1652. We end up at 1620. Here's the next big tweak. We round up to the next step. We're proposing an actual salary schedule, not a range of salaries. So every employee is going to have a spot on that schedule we just looked at. So if this person would be making 1620, and they're in grade 1. So let me just go back and look. Stay with me. All right, here's grade 1. They're at 1620. They would fall in between steps B and C. So what we did was move that 1620 up to the next step, 1654. So everybody will have a place on this salary schedule. So that's where that 1654 came in. Which is 2 cents more than the adjustment value from the district. So 2% to 2.1% doesn't always work out that way. It depends on where you fall in between the steps. So this, with our compression adjustment at 3.5%, everything's the same for the district. Compression adjustment, 1% for the district, 3.5% for our proposal today. Adjustment value is 1669, like we talked about. Us, it's 1667. And when you go back and look at that salary schedule, you would have to round up to 1706. That employee now has a home on that salary schedule as well. Same thing down here. Here's where it gets, I think it's this one. Yeah, this one gets a little interesting. So this 10-year employee would receive 4% from the district after their COLA or the minimum. They would receive 6.5% under our proposal. Gets them 1725. Next step up is 1758. Again, we can't round steps because district doesn't have steps on theirs. We want everybody to have a home. So their increase for this 10-year employee is 8.5%. If we notice this one, even though our compression adjustment is up to 7.5 instead of the 6.5, they still fall in between the same 2 steps the previous employee did. So they're going to end up on the same step, 1758, which is, again, another 8.5% increase. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but there's a couple I did want you to notice. You'll see a couple of employees here where using the district system, and this is now for grade 3, where the minimum is 1742. 1742 is more than 2% over 1620, so management used the 1742. We're still at 1620. There is no compression adjustment for this employee. And 1742 is the next step up for us. So we are the same on this. Here, for this 4-year employee, even though we're proposing 3.5% increase, the district, management districts interchangeable, you understand, sorry. They end up with 8.61%, using the same method all the way through. So they go to the first step, compression, add another 1%, come up with 1759, that's 8.6%. Or at 1620, we go 3.5%, which is a lot more than the districts, but that only gets them up to 1677, puts them on that 1742, like the previous employee. So for this particular employee, they do better with the district. Doesn't always happen, but it does in that one, and it does in this one as well. It's the same scenario for our proposal. Even though we're adding 6.5%, they're going to end up with 7.5%, where the district proposal has them at 11.8. Here's where it sort of levels out for us. This is a 10-year employee. The next employee, an 18-year employee. Again, using the same system. Now you're adding the 2% because he's above the minimum. Compression, you add the 5.5, get him up to 1882. That's 7.6%. We take the 749, add the 7.5%, get to 1880, and then add another 36 cents to get to the next step. So this 18-year veteran will be making 9.5%. So you can see through the years, somebody with less experience is not going to end up making a higher percentage than somebody with a lot more experience. The worst that can happen is they're going to end up at the same step. And again, that just depends on where they land with the rounding. And we can look at another one too, but you see how this works, right? I hope. And again, it all depends on the rounding. Let's see. That, again, here's another situation where you would add, I believe that is the first step, would be 1957. We can check that. Yeah, that's the first step for job grade 5. So you round up, add the 2%, brings it to 1996, that's 5.5. We do the 1890, add 3.5 to the 1890. It's below by 1 penny, this poor guy, poor person. We round up a whole cent for him, but that is the system. We've got to start somewhere. So that person ends up making 3.5%, and we get to 10 years, something very similar. This one gets increased a little bit, 9 cents, I think. So they're making 7%, so a little bit better off under the district system, I get it. But we're consistent across the board in our approach here. And finally, with the 18-year, this is where it jumps up, where it kicks into a totally different step, where it's, what is that, 55 cents, I think, just from the rounding part. So we see the most senior employee making 10.5%. Okay. Any questions on this?
Question?
So let me show you this. I'm not done, Donna. Don't
Okay.
stop me.
You're on a roll, John.
I'm going to go back to our pay structure for a second. So we look at this. You remember, these are all the equal increments, equally divided. But here's how it plays out in a percentage. Like we looked at with our current salary schedule, I think it's important to see this. So we'll notice we don't have those big ranges. So the increase from step A to step B, the range is 3.35. There's only 2/100ths of a percent difference all the way down the line. So you tell somebody you're moving from step A to step B, you're getting 3.34%, and every one of them is. And it's very, very consistent. And it's like that through the line. If you remember our current one, we had colors sort of splotched all over the place. It was a little askew. This is very systematic. Everybody's very close. This range runs from 3.35% increase. Then when you get to the most expensive step, it's down to 2.27. That's it. It's like 1.06, 1.07 difference from the beginning of the job grade to the end. Again, consistency and equity. That's what our folks are looking for. There's only 1/100th of a cent difference in all of those people at this last step. So, and really, that's what our folks are looking for. It's important for them. Let's see. All right. Now what you've been waiting for. Yeah. Here's what it's going to cost. I'm going to decrease this a little bit, so I don't want you to see all those big numbers standing in the room. All right, I don't know if you can make this out, but I broke them out by the percentages, the categories that we had broken out on a separate slide earlier. So this first column here has the cost, current cost, proposed cost for the 20-plus year veterans. We have them at 9%. Remember, we add the 9%, and then we round up. The effect of rounding up for that group of employees puts them at 10.45%. If we didn't round up at all, these are the percentages you would see, 9, 7.5, 6.5, 5, etc. But because of the rounding, they're slightly higher as a whole. Sometimes it doesn't work out, most of the time it does. So that does bring it up a little bit. And so our group of 0-year employees would go up 3.22%. Average increase of 56 cents an hour, annual increase of 819. All the way up to the 20-year employees, almost $3,500, $2.20 an hour at 10.45%. Altogether, the total without the 21%, you guys are 21, right? 21-ish, Amy? Yeah.
21 what? I'm sorry.
To add to the cost for the fringe.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
22, yes.
All right, well, I did 21, but the average increase per employee would be $1,900. Average hourly increase, 1.25. Average percent, again, this is a very simple approach here, is 6.83. The cost of this proposal, and again, this is by multiplying this salary cost by 21%, is a little over $10 million. So, it's the first step. It's not perfect, but we think it's the first step in equitable approach and consistent approach to get everybody. Remember, you've got what? 85% of your employees are not on a salary schedule. And this kind of brings them together through the initial work that you did. This sort of tweaks it, gives them a real schedule, and it starts to address compression. You can't do it all in 1 year. It would just be way too expensive. But you can do this, and you guys can work at it next year. Okay, how can we continue the decompression? Because this doesn't solve it completely, but we think it's a good start, and we think it's well worth an extra $3 million investment. That's it, I'm done.
Okay.
Any questions?
Questions? Rob?
Going in, you knew the bargaining authority was $7.1 million. Why did you have to come up with $3 million more? What was the justification for that?
I'm sorry, I was being talked to.
Rob had a question.
I'm sorry, Rob.
What's the justification for the $3 million increase in the proposed? You're proposing $3 million more than the bargaining authority the board has provided to us, which has been on the table since April. Why $3 million?
I didn't choose $3 million and then create this to fit it. Speaking with the leadership team in SPALC, this is what our members wanted. This is what we believe you can afford. We can talk about that another time if you'd like. I'm here to talk about the proposal itself. And we think it's well worth the investment to create such an equitable and consistent salary schedule for all of your SPALC employees.
But did you create any model with the $7.1 million?
I created this to bring to you under direction of our bargaining team. I don't know if Arlise wants to speak to any of this, or?
Arlene? Well, that's our proposal, and as we, look back on data for the district since 2017, we know that this can be reached. And like Jonathan said, we didn't take a number and say, and him work his numbers around a certain number, okay? That ain't what we did. And the thing of it is, this is what we, what we came up with. We did take up under consideration the Evergreen study. Jonathan showed that throughout his whole presentation. We took your minimum and your maximum and came up with a pay schedule. And also, Jonathan said it, and we had been also saying it all along since April. We have a survey of all the support staff, and the support staff say they want to see some kind of schedule. We were clear that compression was a concern, and we wanted to do something about it. Your bargaining team said they wanted to do something about it. The board members said they wanted to do something about it. So we did the best that we could with the information that we have. We came up with this with Jonathan, and I mean, we know it's over, but we also know the district can afford it. And like I said, we did take your presentation from Evergreen in consideration. Jonathan worked on that, and plus the compression. So we basically, Jonathan did a presentation based on everybody's need, because compression is a big issue right now in the district.
Amy.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to, well, thanks for the presentation. I think I understood everything that you presented, so I think that I wanted to kind of outline what I heard as really the similarities between what we talked about previously and what we just talked about just now. So basically, I think I hear that within all of the options that we have on the table now, the information from the Evergreen study was incorporated. In other words, we took some information that we gathered from the, from the Evergreen study, and based on what we had, they have proposed some proposed pay grades, and we did make, as you noted, some changes to those based on some different things. And it sounds like in the presentation or in the option that you've now presented, that those same pay grades were incorporated and accepted. So we are in agreement on the information that Evergreen related to us and how we could potentially incorporate it into whatever the new salary structure is that we put forward. So I heard agreement there. I also heard agreement based on the study, which we knew from the beginning that we needed to get some very important information from. There was basically a salary structure, ranges, I guess I'll say, that came out of that based on what is now our current salary structure or current salary schedule, and what we needed in a new salary schedule. If we were going to move that forward or move it up into a different percentile or try to recruit and retain the employees that we had, we needed to make a change to that structure in terms of the ranges. And I heard from the presentation that our options that we had discussed previously and the option that you just discussed with us take that same information. We have agreement in that the salary ranges that we have proposed both really are the same. It's just the way that those would be incorporated, whether it be in an open range or in a step schedule. So I hear lots of agreement on that course as well. I also, Sorry, one more thing, because I was just liking to, you know, as we say, we are much more similar than we are different across the world, if we would just recognize that. So I just wanted to recognize what the similarities were, and also the similarities in the compression itself, right? We knew that we needed to somehow address in some way to stretch out the compression that we have, knowing that in 1 year we were not going to accomplish the whole job, but we needed to start somewhere and begin to build on that. We did that in the options that we had discussed before. You did that in the options that you just discussed with us now, in different ways, but still we did it. So there was similarity there, an agreement there. So what I'm hearing is that there are lots more agreement than not that we have at stake right now. And I just wanted to take a moment, you know what I'm saying, for the moment and the culture, for us to just recognize that we had all of that, all of those similarities, the information that we really tried hard to package and present, which was not easy information. I mean, they gave us a lot. We asked for a lot, they gave us a lot. But it sounds like at the end of the day, or getting towards the end of the day, because we ain't at the end of the day yet, but I'm just saying, at the point where we are now, we've recognized that we both understand that information, accept that information, and somehow want to incorporate that same information into whatever option we come to agreement with. And I just wanted to make sure that I understood and heard you right.
Jonathan.
Thank you for that. Thank you for acknowledging our acknowledgement. I mean that. That's important. That was kind of our starting point, was to incorporate what we could from this exhaustive salary study and the work that you all did. And we kept the parameters the same, everything that we could. One thing, and this is why I wanted to stop a minute ago, as far as the ranges go, out of the, what do you have, 4,300 employees, there were 38 employees that went above the maximum. So we're gonna have to figure out something to do with those guys, but there were only 38 that went above. But other than that, yes. Pardon?
Can you present it?
Yes, ma'am. Well, our entire proposal, yes. There are 38 employees just above the max. Most of them are less than $1 above, but I did want to point that out. Other than that, everybody fit in beautifully. But thank you for that. And that was very intentional on our part, was to keep as much of your work as we could. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, clarifications, Steve? I figured that. That was my next question. Sure.
So I just wanted to be clear, in the option that you presented, if you're saying that there's 38 people over the maximum, what were you proposing to do with them in your proposal?
I would leave those 38 off the salary schedule. So you take your percentages that you negotiate down the road next year and the year after, whatever's negotiated, those guys, everybody else will be on the schedule, but they would get the same percentage that everybody else got. And this happened with across the state, and this is not uncommon. This compression issue happens all over the state. First with teachers, now with ESPs. Nothing unique here. But when it did happen with teachers, we had to move some teachers from the grandfather schedule to the new performance pay schedule. The law said at the exact salary. And sometimes that just did not exist for a lot of locals. So they kept them off the salary schedule. And there was like 100 in Collier or whatever it is, but it's not unprecedented to do that.
Yeah, that's okay. I was gonna ask another question, but it would be for a subsequent year, so it really is not necessarily for discussion here. Okay.
All right, thank you. Do you have a copy of what you just said, or you need a copy?
I mean, it'd be nice if you email it, if it looked like we had it.
Can you email it, Jonathan?
I think I left it on your computer. I'll be happy to email it out and have this.
Well, we'd like to have it for our caucus, right?
Okay, they need it for their copy. You want the?
Yes,
Yeah, that'll work, Jonathan. That'll work well. Okay.
Bright on you, Donna, look at you, thank you.
Are you guys still recording?
Whichever way you want to do it. Okay. Maybe it's just gonna download now.
Keep it, I don't care. There's only two things on it.
I think, you know, the way you guys, these things are not cheap.
All right, give it back.
Hold on. All right, SPALC, are you gonna caucus? Are you gonna caucus?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, everybody can stay where you are. The district has a room they can go to, and SPALC has a room they can go to, so nobody has to leave this room unless you're on the team. So they want 20 minutes? Yeah, 20 to 30 minutes.
They can stay in AC, we gotta go to.
No, they're going, they have their own room. Let's get started again. I was just told SPALC did not caucus, so just you, Rob.
Okay, so we had a significant conversation about what I think is now option 9, which is the proposal Jonathan presented, and I want to start off by saying thank you for that. We were really appreciative of what you provided. Just like when we've presented options, SPALC has needed a chance to go back and consider them. So we did some of that, but we still need some more time to analyze, verify. Amy just got the presentation on the jump drive, so I think we are considering the framework that it could be something we can work with. But we need to verify and analyze all of it, keeping in mind that our bargaining authority is $7.1 million. So we are interested in an additional session this week, if we can make it work, and at the latest next Monday.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I'm actually surprised with caucus because it would take a long time to go through all this and verify everything. But I can tell you this. I'd be very interested to see what you come up with in that $7.1 million range, limit that you say you have. Apparently it's been $7.1 million since last April. April?
Yes.
April. We really need to see some movement. This is a big deal. You invested very heavily into Evergreen coming in, put an awful lot of time into this. If we're gonna do it, we should do it so it works, so it addresses the concerns of your employees. So anyway, that would be interesting. And the AFR is coming out very shortly, and I probably have a request in for that. So we'd like to see, a bit more of the financial end. And that 7.1, well, I'm not gonna say it again. Okay, thanks.
Rod.
Yeah, you said, and I guess it's a frame of speech or a figure of speech. Last April is 5 months ago. It's this bargaining session, Jonathan, so I don't know if you understood that. It's not last year. Okay, so, okay. And the teachers union was offered 5% and accepted. So just so you know that, we're dealing with 2 FEA unions, although separate, both FEA. So just wanted to get that out there.
Okay. All right, so you asked more time to digest all of this and possibly have a meeting again this week. What do I hear from SPALC? Do you want another meeting this week, or do you want to wait till next Monday? And let me look at my calendar.
Rob said Monday, right?
He said he's willing to have another one this week.
We could do it as soon as Thursday.
We get the AFR by then?
Are we able to get the AFR by then?
Yeah, if you want, the finalized AFR Monday would be better day then.
Okay, so Monday would be the 16th.
Wait a minute, let's see, we're checking out now.
Yeah, I'm not writing anything yet, I'm checking my calendar.
Or I didn't need it arbitrarily say Monday, it's next week. So
Next, or if it's not Monday, someday next week.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
Monday's not working for us.
okay.
All right, so.
Another day?
I'm looking over at Amy Howard because I'm not sure what our room availability is. So that now comes into play. What's that? There's a board meeting on Tuesday, yeah, so now we're up to Wednesday.
Next week's not gonna work after that because we have the FEADA all week in Orlando.
Starting Monday.
Starting on the 16th. Starting Friday, Thursday, Friday?
Wednesday.
Starting on the 17th?
18.
18th.
Oh, 18th, okay.
So you can't meet without the annual financial report?
I think it would be a more productive meeting if we had those final numbers from last year. As I understand it, I think it's due on the 11th, isn't it, to the DOE? So I'm just kind of surprised we wouldn't be able to get it before then. But it would certainly make our meeting a little bit more productive.
All right, that would put us to the following Monday, which would be the 23rd. Okay, and Amy can't make it.
You asked about whether it was due on the 11th or not, it is, but the 11th is Wednesday. So that's what I was saying, if you're wanting that, if you want to do anything to it, if you want to analyze it, if you want to look at, we're going to give it to you Thursday morning and then we're saying we're meeting Thursday afternoon. I don't know. If you're good with that and you're there with that, then fine, you know, but that's why I said, well, if you're wanting that, then the next week would work because it really doesn't give much time for you to do anything to it. But that was just where I was coming from.
Well, this Thursday we have ITF too, so we have to keep that in mind.
That's at what time, 3, right?
Yeah.
So instead of meeting at 4, can we meet at 4:30? Is Friday definitely out? I didn't even ask our team, I'm just throwing it out.
Friday the 13th,
Okay, so.
special day.
Yeah, but ITF's at 3, so.
Arlise?
Yeah, Ms. Donna, we will not be able to meet until the week of the 23rd. We have other obligations, so.
So Monday, September 23rd? Oh, that's right, that's when this Amy is going to be out.
But we'll have to dig deep on the bench, I don't know, we'll have to, yeah, Mark, or, I mean, we might even agree, like Kerr could come in possibly, or somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to stick to the 23rd?
Let me just make sure, Amy, is this room available? Yes, 23rd, it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, it's not fine, I just want to know, we felt like we had some momentum tonight, and
Right.
we wanted to move ahead.
So September 23rd looks like it, if everybody's okay with that. Arlise, the 23rd okay? Okay. Want to schedule another one or just leave that? Okay. All right, so Lois.
I didn't get a chance to say this earlier, but I know you're taking our proposal into consideration. This morning I did a comparison of SPALC from June 1st to September 1st, and we have lost 290 support folks. It's a lot of folks. Our biggest group being our paraprofessionals. They were 137 out of the 290, and we know they work directly with our children every day. 60% of those in para are ESE, and we know that that's vital. So these are just things I want you all to keep in mind when, things that we kept in mind when we were coming up with our proposal. We're just losing folks so fast and furious, and We just want to do good by the people that have stuck with us and for the folks that are, do plan on coming to work with us, that we, pay them like they are in the 9th largest district in the state, and they deserve it.
All right, and everybody might want to go back to the March 4th minutes and look at the interest for compensation. Rob?
And Lois, I have to do this though. How many were hired during that period of time? Do you know?
There's only maybe 100 people that between September to June that has come on, but we're still in a negative.
So it's not 290, they were replaced by 100, so it's 190.
Right, but we're looking,
Okay.
it's student achievement, it's,
No, I think we all have the same interests. I just don't want statistics to be out there that we're down almost 300 people when we've replaced half of them. So, okay.
All right, anything else? Larlise?
Thank you, Ms. Bella. So I want to make sure that we're clear on what we are asking for. So Rob, you said that 7.2 has been on the table since April. That is true. So let me just go back to April because I asked a question, and the question was, in interest-based bargaining, do the district tells the other side, which is SPALC, what the bargain authority is, and that's final. And I was told that that was not interest-based bargaining, and I know it's not. So we are asking for you to go back and ask the board for the 3-point-something million to make sure we can take care of compression and also the Evergreen study. So yeah, we don't just want you to go back and look at what Jonathan presented and make it fit the 7.2. Our request is that you go back and ask for bargain authority so we can make that presentation happen. Thank you.
Rob?
That was interest-based? I was unsure of giving someone a demand to go do something. So I told you what we would do. We would analyze, verify the numbers. They know the bargaining authority. You know the bargaining authority. That was less than interest-based, frankly.
Okay, Ms. Donna, can you make it clear to everybody in the room where this money is concerned? Because the reason why I asked back in April was that I can get a clear understanding in our team, and I said that at that point. And I'm not demanding for no one to do anything. And yeah, we just need clarification because the district is telling us it's 7.2, and when we're being trained, that's not the way we're being trained. That the district make the decision and tell us what they're gonna do, and that's it.
As it was last year, there was some flexibility in what the district was first authorized to do. Then they went back and they got a little more. There is a give and take, but demands are not part of interest base. You can't demand for them to go back, and you can't. But there is flexibility in any negotiation, whether it's interest-based or it's not interest-based. There's always flexibility in going back and forth about the amount of money available. Yes.
Okay, so do I need to word it in a different way? We are requesting for you to go back to the board members and ask them for the amount of money we need to make our presentation happen.
Okay. All right, anything else? Any other questions, clarifications needed? Yes, Amy? Yes, 4 o'clock on the 23rd. Yeah, and Amy said the room's available, so we'll be back here. So if there's nothing further we can do this evening, because this is the last thing we're working on other than implementation for this contract. Yes, Laura.
Did you ask us to get the March 4th minutes out?
I asked if you want to look at the interest for March 4th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just as before our next meeting, just review those interests that we had for compensation issue on the snapshot for March 4th. We have them up here tonight and we'll keep them so we can post them on the 23rd. So that's all here and it's in your minutes as well. So just keep all of those things in mind. There were quite a few of them. We had 2 pages, almost 2 pages, so. Anything else? All right.
Donna, I'm sorry. What does it say, what was scratched out on the minutes where it says SPALC is on, no, to the left, it says SPALC is and cross it out and put.
Requesting instead of asking.
Okay, thank you.
It's requesting. Okay. Anything else? All right, if there's nothing else, then I guess we are